Welcome, everyone. This is C-LyLe Dem. We have a very exciting show for you today. We have a special guest in the house that I've come to know over the last couple of years who does amazing things. She's turned out to grow into a phenomenal person. Her energy is just out of this world. I can share my experiences with her that a little later that I had. It was just one of those things that we definitely had to get her on the mic to actually be blessed and give us some encouragement. So we want to welcome to the show today, Chris. She's great into actually does readings. I don't know what the proper terminology I should use for that. So I'll spin it over to you and let you introduce yourself today.
Hello, everyone. My name is Chris. Like Carlyle said, I I go by Kundalini Chris, so you can follow me there on YouTube or Instagram. Those are my most popular platforms. And yeah, like you said, I do readings. I'm a spiritual psychic, so I do readings, mainly astrology readings, birth chart analysis readings, but also I do tarot readings as well and human design birth chart readings as well. So a whole melting pot of things,
Can you
really.
get all that on the resume?
I'll try.
We're looking at. I think we had a conversation about being introduced into the corporate world and actually getting with some of these CEOs and kind of having these
Yeah.
kind of sessions with people. Because when I first sat down with you and actually I was there for one reason, and then I turned up just being with you, and then you had me calling my mom, and then you had me doing all these strange things that all made sense to me.
Right.
So with that being said, I'm here for a reading today. So
Yes.
where do we get started?
Yes. Let's go.
Let's go.
Yeah. And I want to throw out there that, they say like millionaires don't use astrology, billionaires do.
Heard that terminology before.
Yeah. That's very
Hmm.
true. Because astrology is essentially just, it's showing you the blueprint of your life. It's showing you where your energy is naturally calling things in for you, where you're meant to exert yourself. And essentially, yeah, it's just showing you a map of your destiny. And we have free will to follow it or not. But if you follow the blueprint, the map, it just takes you right on downstream into everything you were already meant to experience in this life. Because
Mm.
as soon as we, really before, but when we come out of our mother's womb, we get imprinted with the astrology, the cosmos, as above, so below. And so this imprint is always there with us. And it's just a matter of, do we use our free will to flow with the natural current of our life, or do we try to swim upstream and go against the natural current of our life?
Yes, all of that is important. Never understood what all of that matters because we actually go to certain things and actually just experience life as it happens, and we always just try to, just get a understanding why things are happening. And it was one of the most intriguing things about speaking to you
Right,
is just actually understanding what all that means because all of it has substance to it
right,
as well.
right.
Um, I think we capture things for the wrong reasons or we don't have a purpose behind it.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
And understanding what the purpose is a driven factor. So you mentioned something about millionaires. Say that one more time.
Millionaires don't use astrology, billionaires do.
So is that how you how you get from being a millionaire to a billionaire once you start understanding things and how things work?
I would say that. And I think that some people, like billionaires, they use astrology because they can see, because there are points in your astrology where it will tell you, for example, where you naturally will receive money from others, or there's another point that goes a little bit deeper where it's like where you can really tap into that wealth and that abundance, that prosperity. So it's like they're using not only the key parts in their chart that are showing them where this energy will naturally funnel in, and the more they put that energy or that effort into that part of their lives, the more it will expand. But also, when you're tracking, like for example, a new moon or a full moon, and let's say you have a new moon in a money house and it's hitting something prominent in your chart, it's like knowing, okay, I should start my business during this time frame because even the astrology is set up for that to just open that door in my life.
So one can have an idea about I want to start a podcast. But if your season is not here
Yeah,
for that and your
exactly.
universe doesn't, right, like how many
Right.
failures happen because you didn't understand it was not the right time?
Yeah, right. And I really feel like nothing is ever truly really a failure because you're always learning. You're always being redirected. But in the general sense of what you're saying, yes, it's like astrology really shows you that certain times are really just not your time. And those are times for learning. Those are times for finding your path, figuring out where life is really directing you. And so it even on the surface, like at times it really does feel like failures and like I'm doing all these and I'm it's not working, but really it is. It's just redirecting us to where we're going to get the maximum like benefit and where everything is just astrologically aligned to actually open up that window and that door for us to everything to just literally funnel right on in.
Makes a lot of sense. So again, I explained to certain people how this came to be.
Yeah.
This was not on my vision board. This was nowhere near what I was trying to do,
Yeah.
but it was just something that, and I gravitate to energy per
Right.
se because I can wake up in the middle of the night. It's like, you know what? I'm just going to start barbecuing. I'm just going to start doing this. I'm going to start creating a nonprofit, but I
Right.
never know if the season is there for me.
Yes.
And the listen, so a lot of times we spend time praying about things and try to, you know, Lord, send me a sign, something's
Right.
happening, whatever the
Right.
case may be. But it's a lot deeper than that.
Yes.
So, I'm here where I am with this podcast. You are the first recorded guest that I have
Yay.
here. I think we have
It's an
something for
honor.
the both of us to
Yes.
try to figure out where we're going and what we're doing with this. You have a YouTube page and you have listeners and followers. I have zero listeners and zero followers. But I'm gonna just explain what drove me to this is
Yeah.
that people ask me all the time. They always calling me, asking me about questions with union contracts and railroading. And you grew up in a railroad kind of thing, knowing your mom spent all this time out here, and they got all these questions, but they can't get to me.
Right.
So with everything that's going on in this particular political environment right now, there's a lot of uncertainty. So I figured this would be a good way to communicate with folks and let people know.
Mhm.
So I guess, is it my season for this C-LyLe Dem podcast to be happening right now? How do you tell me if it's the right time or it's the right place, or what do you see in my future right now?
Well, it's funny that you asked that because there's a marker
And
in
keep in
our
mind, we have
chart.
sponsorships now, so I got a lot riding on this.
Actually, things are actually set up quite well for you because
Really?
yeah, currently, so well, I'll say this first. There's a marker in our charts that talks about where our literally like where your destiny is playing out in your life, and it's in a different place of our chart for everybody in a different sign, but your destiny marker, which is called the North Node, is in Pisces, and so essentially, the more that you put your energy, the more that you take action and effort, and the more that you just allow yourself to gravitate towards not just like spiritual matters or psychic explorations, but even just being of service to people in some way, helping people to um, heal and process their mental health. It can be any type of artistry. All of these are Pisces themes and archetypes. So it's like from anything from artistry to mystical, psychic, spiritual services or phenomena. And yeah, definitely just helping people heal. The more that your life will just naturally take you more into your destiny and you'll open up more of your own psychic and spiritual abilities. And so currently, so your north node is in Pisces, and currently the north node is also in Pisces. And so it actually, the north node moves backwards. So every sign goes from 0 degrees to 29, and the north node moves backwards from 29 to 0. So your north node is about 21 degrees Pisces, and the North Node currently is at 26 degrees Pisces. So it's going to hit yours directly in about Probably about 3 or 4 months or so. But right now, you're literally in alignment with, yeah, your destiny. And it's the fact that the current North Node is already in Pisces and that's yours. It's just like everything that's supposed to happen over this next year, I'd say, because it changed in January and it's there in each sign for about a year and a half. So you got a good year in 2 months or so while it'll be in Pisces. But over these next year or so, everything that opens up for you is just literally in alignment with where you're already going.
Is there any type of maybe distractions or anything that will knock me off of the path or the journey that I should be aware of at this particular point in time?
Yes. So
Say that real fast. Like, yeah, wait a minute now.
yeah, this
You
is
know, we got Debo down the street. You know, Debo down there. Hey, fool.
the reason why I said that so quickly is because you have these prominent markers in your chart. So I'm gonna talk about that, and it'll help you understand, and for everyone's listening, just to further understand how astrology works. So in astrology, we have, and the real astrology is what I like to say, because most of us grew up thinking we just have this sun sign, which is the sign we tell everyone we are, but we have a moon sign, we have a Mercury sign, a Venus, all the planets, Mars, Saturn, Jupiter, Neptune, Uranus, Pluto. We have all of them. And so you don't want to just look at where your sun sign is or where your moon sign is, but actually how each planet in your chart is interacting with the other planets in your chart. That's really what tells you how things are going to happen in your life, whether things are going to be harmonious, whether things are going to be more challenging, whether things are working together, or if they're kind of working in different directions and you have to find that middle ground between the two of them. And so, um, and for everyone listening to, just to kind of make that mental note that wherever the planets are at when you're born is the signs that you will have in your chart. So the moon changes signs basically every 3 days. So even if you're born the day after someone, you can have the same moon sign. The rest of your chart will probably be the same, but your moon sign will more than likely be different, as well as your rising sign. So it's literally a snapshot of the exact moment you were born and where the planets were in the zodiac constellations, and that's how you get your chart. So for you, your moon sign in Sagittarius um, is where you could experience your moon, and your Mars are both in Sagittarius. So the moon sign is the deepest part of ourself. We tell everybody, yeah, oh, I'm this, I'm an Aries, I'm a Gemini, I'm a Leo, but your moon sign is the deepest part of you. It's the moon. When the moon comes out at night, everybody morphs into like a deeper or just a different version of themselves versus when the sun is out during the day. It's this Your sun sign is your active personality, whereas your moon sign is your deep receptive. It's how you are at home. It's how you are in your private life when you're comfortable with the people that you're around, your family, your deepest friends. So not everyone gets to experience your moon sign, generally speaking, but it's also moon emotions. It's also your emotional expression. It's your intuition. And so if we're looking at between the sun and the moon, you're really your moon sign. Like your sun, again, it's just your active personality. It's just the foundation of what your personality is being built upon. So, with your moon sign being like your deepest, truest self and who you really are, and your Mars sign talks about how you assert yourself, how you take action. It's masculine, whereas the moon is receptive. So, um, yeah, your Mars is just all about the action, the drive, the what motivates you to get things done, what pushes you to do things. And so with your moon and your Mars both being in Sag is all about freedom. Freedom at any cost, doesn't matter. It's just like I need absolute freedom, and anything that tries to cage you in a box, you will run, you will completely disconnect from it. You will just completely um,
Mm.
reject it. Anything that tries to stifle you, put you in a box, restrict your freedom. Sag loves to experience life. It's not a sign that wants to get into the details, which doesn't go quite well with your Virgo sun that needs details and wants a plan and wants a list. Your Sag moon and Mars are just like, forget the plans. Let's just go. Let's just wing it. Let's just figure it out. Let's just go with the flow. And you have this natural intuition. You have this natural way of seeing the bigger picture, of soaring above. You know, like it's like if you think of like a bird, it's like Sag is way up there in the sky. It's like it's seeing the whole higher picture of everything. Everyone else is, generally speaking, is on the ground, just seeing things right in front of them. But the Sag is more above, just watching everything, seeing how it all fits, how it all connects, how it all interplays. It just really has that bigger picture, like otherworldly view of seeing life and understanding different experiences. It's very, very natural, like philosopher, and just loves to explore like philosophy and these the deeper meaning of life and the deeper meaning behind everything. So with Sag also, it learns through exploring the world. It learns through experiences. It's not really a sign that wants to some extent, it can go down and get into some books and really study, but how it really learns is from traveling and exploring other cultures. And yeah, just like physically, like being out there in the world, like feet on the ground, just experiencing life. So, where this, to answer the original question, where this might clash with how your destiny is playing, um, it sometimes Sag has a hard time facing their pain. They just want to run. You know, Sag is a centaur, so it's a half human, half horse essentially, and so you know, it has a tendency to just take off and like, I don't want to deal with this. I'm going this way or I'm going that way. Or it's like, nope, I don't hear you. Or like, nope, I'm actually fine. I'm all good. Nope. Because it's so optimistic. It's so optimistic sometimes to its downfall. That's like, nope, I'm fine. I'm not crying. I'm fine. It's like, so it's like it wants to run sometimes from its pain. But Pisces is like, go into the pain. It's like dissolve into the pain. Um, feel the pain because I mean, pain is our greatest teacher. And without pain, you can't possibly know joy without pain
Mm.
and sorrow. And um, with your North Node in Pisces, it's like not only are you meant to help heal others, but you heal others through your own healing and being in touch with your own inner psychic, your intuition. And so um, I would say that there would be that clash between really allowing yourself to go deep into your feelings. And Pisces, it's the last sign of the zodiac. You know, it has no boundaries. It's just Pisces is like one with the spiritual realm around us, you know. And so there's no disconnect with Pisces between the material realm and the spiritual realm. It's all just one big blob for them. And so for you, it would just really be allowing yourself to really go into that, to become nothing and everything at the same time, and just to like melt into your existence, to melt into your healing, to your feelings, and to not want to go out because your moon and your Mars are in the house of the community and the people around you. So it's like you're really stimulated by your community, by your friends, by your tribe, by just meeting people and again exploring life. But your Pisces North Node wants you to actually go inside, go internal, not externally, not, you know, instead of turning to the world or your friends or parties or external environments that will kind of give you that fun, that freedom, that passion, that joy, that aliveness. Your North Node in Pisces is like, no, let's go home. Let's go within. Let's get in tune with our inner world. Let's heal. Let's change our subconscious beliefs about our life and our experiences, and let's really heal. And the more that you do that healing, because your North Node is in your second house of money, so your destiny is already naturally playing out in your money. Like as long as you keep tapping into, even just like Pisces is the most compassionate sign. Again, it's the last sign. It's the sign of the spiritual realm. So it's like the more that you're tapping into compassion, especially for yourself, but because as you have that compassion and that self-love for yourself, it can't help but to radiate out into the world. So it's like the more that you just develop all of this healing, all of this artistry, all of your psychic abilities, because we all have psychic abilities. They're just more often than not, we're not aware of them, or they're just, they're kind of like behind a door, and we just have to open that door so that they can come out and be seen. So your money will just, not just your money, but this house that you have your North Node in is also your house of self worth and self esteem. So it's like the more that you are in this healing and this creating and yeah, it's just expanding yourself, the more that your money is going to open up even more. Because again, your destiny is already playing out in your money, but it's just going to expand even more. And then that's naturally by default, you're going to like rise. Your inner healing and your self-worth and your self-esteem is just going to expand even more. You're just going to have this deep, deep, deep compassion and just deep love for yourself and literally everybody in existence.
Wow. That was a lot.
Yeah.
And I got stuck on something that you said about becoming nothing and everything at the same time. Like, that's just resonating,
Yeah.
just to understand, like, you know, that's a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is definitely a thing. Yeah. So a couple myths out there about readings.
Yeah.
Um, I've always, some people contributed to witchcraft. Some people
Yes.
contributed to voodoo,
Black magic.
black
Yeah.
magic. There's a movie currently out right now, Sinners,
Sinners. Yeah.
that I refuse to go and see just because. But a couple of people say, no, you're looking at it the wrong way. And I'm like, no, I'm looking at it the right way. I don't do horror movies. I don't do any
Yeah.
of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But some of the myths and you said something earlier today about millionaires and billionaires. So that is a thing that actually resonates with folks actually about advancing themselves. So one of the biggest myths about, readings is, no, let me ask you this. Why do African Americans fear that? Like, what is the thing about having a reading? Like, because we all
Yeah.
remember, who was the lady that was on TV back in the day? We had Dionne Ward doing her thing at 3 o'clock in the morning, and it was some black female that was like, she will always pop up at 2 o'clock in the morning and let me read your palm and all this other kind of stuff. And most black folks attribute that to like holy water,
Right.
like, buy holy water. What is the biggest misconception about a person getting a reading? But
Well,
before you answer that,
okay.
because I
Okay.
also want to add to that, maybe you can kind of capture it. We got a lot of issues with mental health,
Yeah.
and people are not
Extensive.
gravitating to like
Right.
whatever it is, and
Right.
we've come from a world where we just put our cousin Ed in the back room and kind of just like, there's a thing out there with mental health right now. So kind of talking about all of those things into one.
Yeah. Well, I want to take this way, way far back because, as most of us know, Egyptians, they were deep into spiritual, psychic, mystical practices. And even then, before the Egyptians, it was the Sumerians and Akkadians and Assyrians, and that's just way, way long time ago. But most of us were already aware that the Egyptians, were highly advanced civilization. And essentially, what happened is when the Roman Empire took over and began to really colonize this world, you either converted to what we know now as Christianity, modern Christianity. You either converted, or they either, you know, you were not here on this earth anymore, or they would torture you until you converted. And so a lot of our ancestors, especially like our African ancestors, and even just indigenous in general, Caribbean, um, Latino, a lot of our ancestors, we were all highly spiritual, highly psychic. We were just so naturally in tune with the earth and the stars and the planets because we didn't have all this technology, we didn't have all these distractions and all this propaganda and programs to distract us from our inherent natural psychic ability and gifts. And so because like our bodies are literally made of this earth, and our spirits are, you know, they're not of this earth, they're of this universe. It's our spirit is made of everything in existence. So we're inherently spiritual psychic beings, but we've been disconnected from that natural connection. And so that is why there's so much mental health prevalent, because we've just been taught to distract ourselves. We've been taught to work, and go to school and get a job and focus solely on your external life and your achievements and what you can do and show. And the world that we live in doesn't outwardly promote going within and getting in tune with your spirit and getting in tune with your soul. And yeah, and so I would say that's the biggest thing, is that we've had our practices stripped from us. And like Ethiopia is one of the only countries that never got completely colonized. And so that's why a lot of their rituals, their practices, their way of life, their culture is still so deeply intact. And a lot of us, as you know, Black African Americans, I really like to call us brown people because we're really brown, but we've had our ancestry culture really stripped from us. Like we have our Black culture now, but as far as what our ancestors were doing, most of us have no idea. And
True.
so, yeah,
Facts.
yeah,
Facts. Facts.
yeah.
Facts. Well, that has been a very interesting kind of thing. So, yes, I really appreciate you actually being a guest, the first guest on the podcast itself.
Yeah.
There was just a lot of deep conversation. And on the other thing, I'm like, so you told me about Pisces and Aquarius. I'm like, I'm a Virgo. Like you
Right.
very rarely mentioned Virgo. You just
Yeah.
told me how I travel
Right.
with the
I
planets and
do
all
want to
that
talk
kind of
about your
stuff.
Virgo.
But
Yes.
yes, go right ahead.
Yeah.
Go right
Okay.
ahead.
Okay. Because it's perfect that you brought that in, because your Virgo is opposite of Pisces. So every sign has its opposite sign, or some people call it a partner sign or a sister sign. And so, yeah, your Virgo sun is in opposition to your Pisces North Node. And so let's just talk about, so every partner sister sign, they have similarities. It's like hot and cold. They're the same thing, but just on different polarities, essentially. And so to talk about your Virgo a little bit, and then we'll kind of bridge how this all works with everything with your Sag, Moon, and Mars, and your Pisces North Node. But your Virgo Sun is actually conjunct your Pluto sign. So when planets are conjunct, that means they're essentially, it varies by astrology, but let's just say 10 degrees or less between two planets. And so they're so close together that they're really operating as one. So they're not really two separate planets, they're just one big blob of multiple planets. And so Pluto is the sign of death and rebirth. Like symbolically, it rules Scorpio. And so Scorpio is all about the how do you transform? How do you turn, you know, metal into gold? How do you alchemize your life, your pain, and turn it into wisdom? It's literally like the phoenix. How do you rebirth yourself? How do you die in the flames and rebirth yourself? And so with you having Pluto on your sun sign, and it's in your eighth house in your chart, which is the Scorpio house, it's like throughout your entire life, the foundation of yourself has just been extreme experiences, one after the other. And it's just always, you're always transforming. You're always going through some sort of symbolical or energetic like death and rebirth, like a death to your old self and a rebirth to your new self. That's a constant theme that you'll experience throughout your entire life. And essentially, with it being in your eighth house of the Scorpio house, it's like the more you transform, the more that you go through these experiences again, the more that your money just opens up for you. Even just the way that money comes in for you allows you to transform deeply. Yeah, it's a big part of your transformation. And I would say that I would say that the first, let's say the first half, or maybe up into the last recent few years or so, the first half of your life has been a lot about attaining money because your sun sign, again, it's like your active personality. It's the foundation from which everything is built. So your sun sign being in Virgo, Virgo is all about resources. It's like I need stability, I need money. Um, it doesn't feel Virgo does not feel really safe without having a nice cushion, without having a nice, comfortable um, safety blanket, materially speaking. And so, yeah, a lot of your life has just been like building your money. And with your sun and your Pluto being in your eighth house, which is like other people's money, because it's like your North Node in your second house is your money, but your sun and your Pluto and other people's money, it's like the more that you connect with people or assert yourself like, hey, let's do business, hey, how can we do this, even grants, government grants, it could be anything of that nature. It's just other people's money. You could be prone, if you put your energy into like, I don't know, let's say like a sweepstakes or some sort of winning, like you'd be more prone to receive other people's money. And so yeah, it's just like that's where a lot of your energy was just channeling in for the first, I'd say, most of your life, probably up until this point. And how you really unlock this eighth house, and how you really even open up even more to the resources of the world around you is through, again, this transformation. But with Virgo, like how Virgo and Pisces are sister signs, they're all about healing. Pisces is mental healing and subconscious healing, healing with the spirit realm, healing with the divine, with your higher self. But Virgo is all about healing your physical body. It's herbs, it's working out, it's Pilates, it's yoga, it's meditation. It's all about the physical earthly realm, whereas Pisces is all about the spiritual unseen realm. So the more that you have that balance between both, because you're naturally more inclined to focus on the physical realm, but your North Node says, hey, but I also want you to focus on the spiritual realm and bridge these two together. So it's like a seesaw. It's like when you want to find that middle of the seesaw, so you're not just going back and forth to both extreme ends. And so also though, with this eighth house, I gotta say it's not just money, but the eighth house is, it's all about merging with other people. So yes, other people's monies, other people's resources, marriage as well. Like marriage could really open up your money and your finances as well. Or that's how you allow, I like to share, you like to share your resources, could be that way. You like to share your resources in your marriage or in your partnerships. But the eighth house is like, it is just literally one of the most challenging houses because it's similar. It's similar to that Pluto. So it's like not only do you have your Pluto here, but this house is ruled by Pluto. So it's like, yeah, it's just you are meant to just have such these deep experiences, deep painful experiences that just take you into that rebirth of self. And I would even say that with eighth house, it's similar to Pisces because they're both water signs. Can't Scorpio and Pisces are both water signs, and the eighth house is ruled by Scorpio. So it's like the more that you tap into these taboo, the hidden realms of this existence and the undercurrents, because Scorpio is all about the undercurrents of life and what's going on beneath the surface, and it's really just tapping into the psychics of the undercurrents of life and what's hidden. And again, all these taboo esoteric teachings and findings, it's like the more that you dive into these things, the more you transform, the more it opens up your money, the more you heal, the more that just radiates outwardly to everybody you touch, even just energetically. You don't even have to speak to them. Or you could smile at them and your energy will literally just penetrate them.
So I guess with that question, it's the truth. People have a hard time actually connecting to the truth of what is being kind of said to them
Yeah.
in the realms of the earthly environment or the energy that's
Yeah.
actually, and a lot of people don't like dealing with truth.
Yeah.
You know, they like dealing in things that's untrue
Yeah.
or they don't believe in, and
Yeah.
that's pretty amazing to understand that. And I think that's where the mental health part of it comes into play, because for me, mental health counseling is a major part of my life right now.
Hmm.
Without that, it'd just be a train wreck, just
Yeah.
waiting to crash into something
Yeah.
and then trying to reset and redo, relearn everything that you've done in the past before.
Right.
Very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Very interesting.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So, is there anything else that I should take from this, or like, how often should a person get a reading done?
I think you'd feel it intuitively. Like when you're kind of like, okay, what's going on in my
Makes
life right
sense.
now? What
Makes
is
sense.
happening?
Makes sense.
I would like some further clarity. I would say then.
That's when we kind of self kind of diagnose ourselves. Like something is happening right
Yeah.
now. Like,
Right.
whether it's mental or physical,
Yeah.
because like I'm having some kind of issues with like just reminding my things and stuff like my cigar last night. I'm like, I got out of the car carrying that cigar all the way to the end of the night. And I was like, where's my cigar at? And I started asking people about that. And I'm like, is this something that's happening? Because I
Right.
was just so focused on the evening itself. And then one of the important parts of the evening, I was like, I don't have a cigar. It's a
Right.
strange thing. But as you get older, these things start happening.
Yeah.
And you always like, how did I just sit that down? How did this happen? Like, what
Right.
what was the reasoning behind this?
Right.
And a lot of times we don't know the answer to that question. But again, intuitive is a good word to explain it. Once you start getting into some cloudiness,
Yeah.
probably a good time to
Confusion.
actually do
Yeah.
that.
A
Yeah.
lot of things just keep happening. It's like nothing's making sense. It's like, am I doing something wrong here? What's going on in my life? Why is everything? Because oftentimes when everything's falling apart, it's really falling together. But
So when you get a reading, like what should I take out of this? This is my second sit down with you.
right.
And it seems like a long time ago because I was so excited when I left there. I was like, we need to do more of this.
Yeah.
And so now we're here
Yeah.
doing it again.
Right.
What does a person should take away from understanding the conversation that they have with you? And how important is it to take that information and to start understanding and feeling that? Because you said something about physically and spiritually,
Yeah.
like the seesaw thing.
Right.
Like there's a lot of stuff like the seesaw is always down for me spiritually.
Yeah.
Like I really want to have that come
Yeah.
up and start up,
Right.
weighing equally with the physically, but it's a challenge.
Right.
It's a challenge because
Yeah.
everyday world society is happening.
And you're naturally like your moon, your Mars. You want to go out. You want to be out in the world. You want to be mingling with people. You want to be partying, having fun. That's your natural inclination. So it's like it's well, this is what we call a square. Like your moon and your Venus are squaring your Pisces north node. It's like a literally a square. So you can see how a square has like those rigid, turning points. It's not like a triangle because when you have a trine in your chart, it's making a triangle, and a triangle, the energy flows so easily. So when you have a square in your chart, they're not working together, but that's the beauty of a square. It's like they're working against one another, but once you find that middle ground, once you find how they operate, it actually becomes one of your greatest gifts. So it would just be, yeah, like allowing yourself to really stay at home more and read more, research more, like all these things that we're talking about, So to kind of like even bridge that in with the original question for other people as well, it's like when you receive a reading, you always have free will to explore, because it never hurts to explore and just kind of dabble in or kind of just stick your toe in, kind of see what you might find and just kind of see what opens your mind, what expands you, what resonates. That's the thing is like with anything in life, you want to go with how it makes you feel. Does it feel as does it I felt that. Like does it resonate in your body? Does it hum? Does it ring? Do you get chills? Our body communicates to us. It's different for all of us, but somehow we can, it's just like when you can feel when someone's telling you the truth because the way it feels in your body. You can feel when someone's lying to you because you could feel it. And so it's the same thing. So with any reading, definitely take what resonates, and it does help to be mindful, of course, when your ego just maybe like you said doesn't want to hear something or doesn't want to open up something because your ego will feel resistance, but resistance is different from something just feeling off. So it's important to know when you're you're not open to what someone's saying, or when your body is literally saying to you, this doesn't resonate with me. I don't feel resonant with that. So, just to continue that, we all have free will to follow or to kind of explore, what a psychic or a reader can see for you, or open up for you, or help you see deeper into something. And I would say to just trust your gut, trust your intuition. And let's say someone tells you, oh, you should start studying this or start looking into this, and you feel like, oh, this grabs my attention, but I'm not ready just yet, then listen to that, because life will naturally bring you back around to that point when you are ready for that. Because you might need to learn other things. You might need to come into some other knowledge first before you're ready to go deeper into something, even if you feel it calling to you. Just allow your body and your intuition to guide you, because it will feel right when you're exploring it. And when you're not ready, you'll either just disconnect from it, and you might, oh, that sounds cool, I'll come back to this later. And it's like, you will know when it's time to go deeper, because you will just do it.
Pretty good stuff. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Thank you again for actually joining us today. It was a great a way
Yes.
to actually kick this off. So, can you just tell people how to get in contact with you? I'm quite sure there's people out there like myself who have an interest in it, just don't know how to go out and pursue it.
Yeah.
So, just tell us
Yeah.
how to get in contact with you.
Absolutely. Yeah. So you can follow me on Instagram or YouTube, again, at Kundalini Chris, KUNDALINII, two I's, and then KRIS. Feel free to send me a message on Instagram, or you can send me an email at lotusmoonkundalini@gmail.com. And I would advise everyone to listening, if you don't already know, if you can, grab your birth time from your mom, your guardian, or from some sort of baby book or something that you have, and start to study your chart. Start to, even if you don't have your birth time, you can still look at your sun sign, your moon sign, your Mercury. You just won't have your rising sign, but start to study your chart, and that will open up everything for you. Definitely look into your life path number, numerology. um, just start to explore these this hidden knowledge, because it will speak for itself, and it will never tell you who you are or what you're supposed to be doing. It will only explain why you already feel gravitated to what you want to do or what you're already doing.
Makes a lot of sense. Any projects in the future that you're currently working on, or anything that we should be on the lookout for with you?
I will be just my YouTube. Just definitely tap into my YouTube, because this year I'm going to be definitely creating just I'm going to a next level as far as the things I'm going to be creating on YouTube.
Mm,
And so, yeah, I kind of want to start getting into some cinematic films. And so that's something, yeah, I'm going to be exploring later this year for sure.
very good. Thank you so much for joining us today, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you for having me.
We are here with Chris. It was a great pleasure to be with her today. Thank you.